Hello folks, I'm Brad Holt. This is the Daily Tirade. Having a little trouble today. I made the first recording and ran out of tape, and now I'm kind of a little bit flustered and a little bit frustrated, and so recording it again didn't come out so good the second time, so here we are for number 3. Went to a business meeting today, and the conversation between the people in the business meeting, the main focuses where people were talking about were energy, gas and oil, the economy, and healthcare. And it's amazing to listen to people and how frustrated they are. And it seems the only people that aren't frustrated or that aren't having any trouble with the economy are the people that are basically the 1% now that we've created in this country. So the one thing I ended up talking about today, or I'm going to talk about today, just one thing. There were several before, but now it's just down to one, and that's gas and oil. The first thing I'll start with is real simple. Coming home, went by a gas station down the street, Exxon, $2.05 for regular. Super was like $2.29 or $39, whatever, and Supreme $2.95, $2.95, 90 cents more per gallon for Supreme than for regular gas. And there's a lot of gas stations out here doing $1.99, but it's roughly in that range right now. But still, 90 cents between $2.05 to $2.95 in the Supreme. Almost every single gas station in this country's got 3 levels of gasoline, folks. Regular, Super, and Supreme. 3 levels. 99% of the cars in this country can run on regular gas. 99% of the cars in this country can run on regular gas. 90 cents difference in the price of a gallon of gas, and all these stations around the country are holding millions and millions and millions and millions of gasoline to manipulate the price of gas and to keep the reserves down and to literally, through greed, make more money. Why isn't that gas out there at regular prices, at regular gasoline, for all those millions and millions and millions of extra gallons of gasoline? Why aren't they regular? Only 1% of the cars in this country need that higher octane gas to run. 99% can run on regular gas. I'm not the sharpest stick in the tool shed, but I can figure this part out. Wall Street, the bond markets, and the oil companies are screwing us. Mr. Trump, you want to be president? You want to do something to fix the economy in this country? Do you want to help people in this country do better and take the pressure off of them? You get out there and you speak for us like you've been doing, and you say the things that concern us, and one of those major things is the price of gas and oil. If gas is back down to $1 or less, where it should be, if it's based on the availability and supply and demand instead of this artificial, what I call bullshit about the strength of the dollar. Strength of the dollar means Wall Street's out there screwing us. They're going up and down. They go up 300, 400, 500 points in a week. They go down at 300, 400, 500 points. When I was growing up, if Wall Street moved 10, 20, 30 points in a week, it was a big deal. Now it's hundreds of points per day. They've learned to manipulate the market. The price of gas and oil should be based on supply and demand, and we've got more than anybody else in the world, and people like Saudi Arabia now are worried about it. The American oil companies, with the bond markets and Wall Street, are doing to us what the Obama are doing to us what OPEC did to us for 40 years. They're saying, this is what it is, this is what you will pay us today. If you look online, and I'll just use Fox News, if you look online, every day there's something about the price of oil. Oh, it's going down, down, down. Oh, oil's making a rebound. Oh, it's going down, down. Oh, oil's making a rebound. Oil's going to go back up to $3. There's no good reason the price of gas and oil ever went anyplace after $1 to justify where it went, except for the manipulation by the bond markets and by Wall Street, and these guys putting money in their pocket. You don't have to own a car to get screwed by the gas companies, the oil companies, the bond market, and Wall Street. All you got to do is buy food for your family and drive to work. These guys are just, they've learned to manipulate the system, and that's all that it is. If you get gas down to where it should be, based on supply and demand, and gas got down to $1 or less, the economy of this country in 60 days would make a historic turnaround. We would be the most prosperous, richest, fastest growing, best economic country since they've started keeping records about the economies of countries. Because people would have money in their pocket. They'd be able to drive to the store. They'd be able to go someplace for vacation. They'd be putting gas in their cars. They would sell more gasoline because people could afford to buy it. Oil-based products have stayed where they are. The price of oil dropped through the roof several months back, and gas went to $2. The price of oil-based products didn't change a nickel. A $5 gas can right now, $5 gas can's 20 bucks. That $5 gas can used to be $5. So justify why it's $20 now. Nothing that's oil-based went down. These guys are greedy. They're going to hang on to the money and they're going to do nothing else. When profits used to be millions of dollars a year for the oil companies, and then it turned to billions of dollars of profit per quarter. Per quarter. Profit means that after they've done philanthropic adventures, after they've done research, after they've done whatever it is they're doing to make the rest of the world happy and safe, and whatever they're doing with that money, that's still profit. They don't post the quarterly reports on the nightly news anymore. They don't put them in the newspapers anymore. You don't see this stuff because the rest of us that are sitting there trying to figure out why we're paying $2.48 or $4.35 or 38 cents for 18 eggs instead of $2.43, there's always something these guys manipulate. And whether it's the price of bacon or it's the price of eggs or it's a gallon of milk or the price of gasoline, it's all done through manipulation on Wall Street, and these guys get paid whether they do a good deal or a bad deal. But you take gasoline and you get it back down where it belongs and you base it on supply and demand instead of the value of the dollar. I'm calling bullshit on evaluating gas or pricing it on the value of the dollar. These guys will use whatever excuse they want to, under any terms they want to, and they'll tell you whatever they want to. If you turn on an investment show on Sunday morning, and again I'll take Fox News, and they're talking about the price of gasoline, and you know what they're concerned about? They're concerned about what's going to happen to the investor, to the guy that's invested in gas and oil. What's he going to do? Oh my God, the price of gasoline is going down. The price of oil is going down. Poor investor. Are you kidding me? Come on, folks. Come on, Mr. Trump. You sit there and you express our views, and that's why you're doing so good in the polls, is because you're finally saying what we are all frustrated about, and you get to say it, and you got $10 billion, and nobody can do anything to you, and the price of gas doesn't make any difference to you, but it does to the rest of this country. To 99% of this country it does. And you want to stand up for us, make those guys earn their buck. Everybody should make a profit, but these guys are not making a profit. These guys are raping us. These guys are sticking us. These guys are manipulating the market. And again, you don't have to buy or drive a car to get screwed by gas and oil. You got to buy groceries for your family, and you got to be able to drive to work. If gas was down to where it should be, people would be getting in their cars, they'd be filling their cars up, they'd buy more gas because they could go someplace, they'd have dollars in their pocket, they wouldn't be paying $20 for a 5-gallon gas can. And that extra money is the money that they stopped paying in 2008 when they couldn't afford to make their house payments anymore, because now gas was costing them $200 or $300 or $400 a month extra that they never had to pay before. And it was all based on the price of gas and oil. And you name me one person in this country, one Democrat, Republican, Senator, Congressman, any of these guys that want to run for the presidency, name one stinking person that stood up and said, gas and oil is kicking the crap out of this country. It's destroyed our economy. There's nothing whatsoever on the face of this earth in this country that isn't affected by the price of energy, by the price of gas and oil. Whether it's a toothpick you're buying in the store, or a dozen eggs, or a gallon of milk, it doesn't make any difference. Everything is affected by that energy. And these guys ramped up the price 4,000%, from $1 to $4. 400%, I'm sorry, whatever. And it's all greed. It's about nothing but greed. From millions of dollars a year in profit, could have been $100 million, but still millions of dollars a year in profit, to billions of dollars of profit in a quarter. And no one in this country, no senator, no congressman, no politician, nobody has stood up and said, you need to stop screwing the American people. The bond markets, Wall Street, and the oil companies are doing to us what OPEC did for 40 years. They've got us by the short hairs. It's pure greed. They're not going to let go. No one wants to lower their price, because if you sell hamburgers at 50 cents and all of a sudden you're selling hamburgers at $4, and those people are going to sit there and go out and say, well, okay, we only got to sell one $4 hamburger instead of 75 15-cent hamburgers. These guys are greedy. They want the money right now. Instead of everybody being able to buy a hamburger, you have one every 6 months instead of one every day. The other thing, and it's attached to this too, is all this BS about minimum wage at $15. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I got this one down. The only thing you can do to make people things better for this country economically is for people to lower the cost of living, for the companies to lower the cost of living. It makes no difference if you get $15 an hour as a minimum wage, like the state of New York just did, when you know damn good and well, the people that bake a loaf of bread, that sell it, they're going to raise the price of that bread to $5. And then your $15 an hour isn't going to be worth crap because they're going to raise the price because you're making more money. They're going to raise the price of what the commodity is that they want to sell you. Bread used to be 25 cents a loaf and it was a real loaf. Now you get a loaf that's this big and it's $2 or $3 or $4 depending on what kind of bread you like. They give you half a loaf and they give it to you at 5, 6, 10 times the price of what you used to pay for it. And again, these guys, they call it marketing, and I call it, again, we're talking bullshit. These guys are manipulating the system. You put gas back where it should be at an affordable price based on supply and demand. They'll sell more gasoline. They'll get more tax money in because more people are buying it. We're talking a manipulation of Wall Street and the bond market and the stock market and the oil companies. And it's pure greed, and it's nothing but greed. When I was growing up, if the stock market moved 20 or 30 points, and after I said this earlier, I'm sorry because this is my third time around today, but they used to make, if it went up 20 or 30 points, or just moved 20 or 30 points in a week, that was a big deal. Now they go up by 200, 300, 400, up to 1,000 points a week between up and down. And it's like, well, today it's a normal deal. It's not normal. The stock market's not what it used to be. The stock market is not where you invest in it and you ride it out. There used to be a thing called the Rule of 72. You put your money in, you wrote it out, you stayed with the stock, and then basically every 7 years you should double your money. Well, that stopped about 15 years ago, and now these guys are out there, and on a daily basis, they sit there and they manipulate the system. They get paid on a good deal, they get paid on a bad deal, and you're the guy that loses. Eggs are $4.35 or 38 cents for a dozen and a half instead of $2 and some odd change. The government's regulating the price of milk, which I didn't know until a couple months ago. The bad guys are winning. The bad guys are our leaders. The bad guys are the guys that have the Republicans now that run the House and the Senate. It's amazing. It's just, the Democrats had the nuclear whatever it was they called it to stop the Republicans from doing anything, and the Republicans now is like they got no clue. They're cowards. They do nothing. They've done nothing since they won in 2014. Absolutely nothing. The House hasn't done anything. The Senate hasn't done anything. They're running with their tails between their legs. Obama manipulates them and does things like going to the United Nations instead of talking to Congress first. And these guys, instead of getting up there and whining and crying, they're afraid to stand up. They're afraid to get in the fight. They're sitting there getting their ass kicked. And then, it's just, look, our leaders are disgraced. Republicans, Democrats, none of those people are looking out for our interest. There's 535 people in Washington that are running this country, and there's the rest of the 300 million people in this country that are sitting there, and we're taking it on the chin, and we're sitting there going, why don't we do something with our leaders? Somebody says, well, just vote them out of office. Are you kidding me? The only people that run for office are the people that are already entrenched in what the politics are and that can afford to run for these offices. This is not a fair deal or a straight deal anymore. This is manipulation, and these guys know how to run the system, and it's about time to go. All you congressmen, all you senators, name one person, just one person in this country, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Congressman, Senator, anybody in this country that has stood up and said, you can't keep screwing the American people. You can't keep doing this with these energy prices. The oil companies are not making a buck. They're raping us. They've got us as a captive audience. We've got to have their product, and we can't do anything with it. And these guys are, and the shipping costs and the oil-based products that they say, none of these things have gone down. Oil goes down, and they never let go of a penny of the profit they're making for everything that they increased. A couple years ago, it cost $200 to fertilize my fields for my hay. Last time I did it 2 years ago, it cost $700. Same freaking fertilizer. No difference in what it cost to get it here and the amount that I used. It just went up from $200 to $700. And why? Manipulation, profit, greed by the oil companies. And no one talks about it on TV. The Sunday shows, Sunday Fox show talking about the economy, and they're concerned about what it's going to happen when the price of oil goes down. They're concerned about the investor. They're concerned about the 1% of the people that are investing in gas and oil and saying, what are you going to do, to watch if the gas goes down? What are you going to do to protect your investments? They're worried about the 1%. They're not worried about the rest of the 99% of this country that's got to get up every day and find a way to feed their families, drive to work, and get money to pay for things because everything is inflated based on the price of gas and oil, which is our main source of energy, which these guys are artificially inflating, and nobody in this country is standing up for the American people. Not one stinking, lousy person. Mr. Trump, you want to get elected, you want to make sure you get elected, you call these guys out for what they are, you make them put it back down to where people are making a fair buck, instead of screwing us like they're doing and bending us over a barrel. Because that's what gas and oil are doing. They're bending us over a barrel. We're the #1 leading oil-producing country in the world, and we're scheduled to be that way for any foreseeable future because of what we've learned in gas and oil. And now they're saying, well, we're not going to drill anymore, and they're not going to frack anymore because there's too much oil out there, so the poor oil companies aren't making enough money. Are you kidding me? You want to do something to make this country great again? You lower the cost of living so the average daily man can get out there and make a living and he can afford what he's buying. Instead of doing this bull crap where they're going to give $15 an hour minimum wage and then they're going to go raise the price of the commodity, whether it's bread, milk, or eggs. So that $15 is going to be worth crap in a little while because all these guys that make these products are going to raise the price saying they make $15 an hour, they can afford it. Nope. They're going to screw us again. Lower the cost of living. Put gas where it should be based on supply and demand instead of bullshit, the value of the dollar. Because these guys will give you 7,000 reasons why the value of the dollar changes, why the price of oil should stay up where it's at. Look what it's done to this country since 2008. The #1 thing in this country that has killed our economy is gas and oil. When people lost their houses, they were paying $200, $300, $400 more a month for gasoline that they never had to pay before, and then they couldn't afford their houses, and we have one of the biggest housing losses in the economic failure that we've had in this country in my lifetime, and you never hear a single person talking about what the cause was. Gas and oil, and the people in this country, the leaders, quote-unquote leaders in this country, that will not stand up and call it what it is and say that we're getting screwed and point the finger where it belongs. Wall Street, the bond markets, the oil companies. So here I am wound up again. Not very many people are going to say this, but at least I'm trying to do something to bring it out to light. That 5-gallon gas can should be $5, not 20. The Daily Tirade.